Speaking of concentration camps, and to be fair, these are not concentration camps that are housing migrant children. They are just large open-air prisons. That because concentration would imply that you have gathered people from around the country and put them in, as opposed to sort of like just arresting them at the border and shoving them in the.
ICE does arrest people all over the country.
That's true, but they don't put them in these child detention centers. Now you'll recall there was a large expansion of child detention centers under the Trump administration, largely under the auspices of John Kelly. Now, John Kelly was the adult who was brought in to curb Donald Trump's most heinous impulses. And, of course, he was one of those Republicans who was an adult. And adult Republicans, that's what they're good for. They're good for corralling the crazies in their own party. And as much as John Kelly had to sort of pretend that he was all on board with this huge program of kidnapping children and taking them from their parents, or expanding the unaccompanied minor children, a definition and a number of people that we were housing, in parentheses, and the way that we expanded the definition was to take children from their parents and then define them as unaccompanied, as opposed to children who show up at the border without their parents. And we expanded the population of these people within our prison systems by basically scaring any of their relatives who in this country might pick them up and take care of them during any type of judicial process that would determine these kids' fate. Now, one might ask, like, wow, this is a real burden on the government. Well, of course it's not, because we just pay other people to do it. Now, of course, it's a burden on the taxpayer, but we privatize these institutions. In fact, there's one company, Caliburn International. Caliburn is the parent company of Comprehensive Health Services, which operates the Homestead facility in Homestead, Florida. This is and 3 other shelters for unaccompanied migrant children in Texas. In fact, they're the biggest company that does so. They almost have a monopoly on this.
Could they have a more Orwellian name?
Comprehensive Health Services is the only private company operating shelters, and it became one of the most dominant players in the industry. Last August, it secured 3 licenses for facilities in Texas, totaling 500 beds, and in December, the Homestead facility began expanding from a capacity of 1,250 beds to 3,200. They received federal contract records show the Comprehensive received at least $222 million to operate Homestead itself between July 7th, 2018 and April 20th, 2019. So that's one of 4 facilities. It's the biggest one that gets $222 million to operate over the course of 1 year, not even 1 year, 10 months. And could receive much more, up to $341 million in payments between now and November. Now being
not a bad business.
May and November for continued operation of the expanded site. Boy, how do these guys do it? Where do they get the technical expertise or the ability to secure this money from the government? One can only what's this? On Friday, Caliburn International confirmed to CBS News that John Kelly, former White House chief of staff and Republican adult, had joined its board of directors. Nice gig if you can get it. Create a program to increase client base. That's what they call them. They're all clients.
The market share.
and then go walk on that board. And now I'm sure there's a lot of work he does. He was just spotted riding around on a golf cart on the facility. That probably takes a day. I mean, a board of directors, typically, my understanding is, you will have 3 to 4 meetings that you must attend in a probably fairly nice retreat area where you get to hobnob with your friends or other business folk for a day or two. They fly you in, they put you up, they pay you hundreds of thousands of dollars per meeting that you attend, and you sign off on stuff. I'm sure he's making sure. I'm sure he's doing a lot of due diligence. You guys making sure that these kids are taken care of.
Ethics. That's the number one word I'm concerned about.
Exactly. During a tour in February, a program coordinator at Homestead told CBS News that the older children prefer cavernous digs because this is a halls shared by as many as 200 17-year-old boys in rows of beds about shoulder width apart. The program coordinator told CBS that they like it. They say it's like a slumber party.
Are you kidding me?
So there you go, folks.
That
It's
is
like
so grotesque.
a slumber party.
High on the hill was a lonely goat herd, lay, hoodle-lay, hoodle-lay.
That's the
Down
sound
was
of the
voice
swamp
a
being
lonely
drained.
goat herd, lay, hoodle-lay, hoodle-oo.
If only there was some way we could have guessed he was horrible.
Yeah, we could
so
have never.
surprised.
You could have. There's very little on the public record to suggest that this is an obscene human being.
Unbelievable.
This was from the
Not unbelievable.
Coast Guard graduation.
I was going to say there's certainly things not like this on the public record indicating where this guy was coming
This
from.
is Kelly at the Coast Guard graduation ceremony in 2017. Trump has a sword.
Trump has a sword. He's been given a sword. He sits down next to Kelly. Kelly leans over. Use that on the presser. Yeah. Guys. Good stuff. Really good stuff.